Arcade Heroes.
It's Adam with ArcadeHeroes.com, and recently I realized that there is a particular indie game that I did cover on the site back in its day, and its day was about 10 years ago. And so to celebrate that, and since I still have the game in my possession, I figured why not give it a highlight for its 10-year anniversary. Now, I haven't covered it in a long time, and so if you're new to the site or the channel, then you might not have ever heard of this, but it's called Friction, and it was one of the first indie arcade games. Not the first. The first one that I know of for sure was Get Out of My Face by SnowRunner Productions, but back in that was back in 2008. Friction came out in 2011 and was first teased around 2010, and it is the brainchild of Juan Castillo, who I met when he and his one of his partners visited Amusement Expo, and we talked about it online plenty of times. I guess, in full disclosure, if you beat the game and watch the end credits, my name is in the special thanks, and so I always appreciated that. And one of the few games that I have my names in the credits for. But anyways, if you've never heard of this game, well, as you can see from the attract modes that I'm showing you here, I'm going to show you the bloody version and then the non-gore version. And so it's a light gun game, and it's a somewhat basic light gun game. It doesn't really have any storyline to it, and it has elements of Fear, if you remember that horror first-person shooter game from back in the 00s, as well as a little bit of Transformers in there too. But I got this game as soon as I was able to get my hands on it, and it was it was developed mainly as a kit, and so you could throw it into pretty much anything that had a CRT in it. And in fact, that's what I did. I had what was called a Tsunami Sumo cabinet, which had a giant 33-inch monitor. Of course, you can see from the edges that needs a little bit of work, but and also, unfortunately, this game has not been working for me for several years, and I've been having issues with the I/O boards, and I've tried different ones and just haven't had any luck. There was an LCD version of this game released a couple years after its initial release, but that was sold by a Chinese company, and it's also pretty rare to come across. But even this one, I believe, is fairly rare. I don't know exactly how many kits they sold, but I think it was north of 50, which is kind of standard for what most indie arcade games seem to sell out there. But for an effort that was put together by a small team, I was always very impressed with it. The graphics for 2011 were very solid, and of course they did run on a CRT, but still looked really, really nice. Had some volumetric textures and some cool particle effects when you did the robot killing mode. And it was just a fun game to play. And in fact, even though it was a game without any name brand recognition to it, when it was working for me, sometimes it out-earned my House of the Dead 4. And I had the House of the Dead 4 Super Deluxe version, which was a giant 62-inch screen. But Friction, which was either next to it or close by, oftentimes beat it out in weekly earnings, which meant that more people wanted to play it. And so it came with 3 levels, and they were fairly long, had a lot of nice destructive environmental effects, which was a lot of fun to do. Different weapons. My favorite was definitely the rocket launcher, so you could just blow a bunch of stuff up. But also just lots of exploding canisters all around, as you see in the attract mode as well. So I don't know how many are out there that are still in operation, and to be honest, I would love to see a sequel or a 4K upgrade for this. Wouldn't mind kind of that myself, but I'm not much of a programmer. But anyways, just wanted to highlight this cool indie game from 10 years ago, and so if you do come across it, don't pass it by, definitely give it a shot, it's a lot of fun. And so thanks for watching, and hopefully soon we'll have some videos of some brand new games. That's mainly what this channel is supposed to be about, but since it's been still in the pandemic times, there hasn't been much to share in that regard, and so we've got Amusement Expo coming up in a few months, and so that should hopefully get us back on track. Thanks for watching, we'll catch you on the next video.